She took advantage of a blind date to force an honest man from the village to accept her. 5 months later, she gave birth to a healthy and lively baby, and then, with rightful reason, demanded that the man take responsibility. Driven by a sense of duty, the man willingly married the girl. But married life was not as blissful as Frank had imagined. His wife, Mandy, not only refused to take on the responsibilities of a housewife, but dressed up extravagantly every day, leaving early and returning late, and often didn't come home at all. This left him with an indescribable confusion and sense of loss. Frank began to suspect that this woman was not as well behaved as he had thought. Finally, one night, Frank gathered his courage and quietly followed her. Sure enough, he discovered the disgraceful things she had been doing outside. Even when the truth was laid bare, Mandy showed no trace of guilt. Instead, her face was filled with indifference and contempt. Frank's dignity was trampled. In a fit of rage, he lost control and pushed his wife to the ground. Perhaps it was her karma. Mandy died on the spot after hitting the back of her head. Before Frank could come to his senses, a drop of water suddenly landed on Mandy's forehead. He jolted awake and remembered the child he had forgotten in the bathtub. In a panic, he rushed upstairs to save the baby. But it was already too late. The child had tragically drowned in the tub. Frank was charged with the crime of killing his wife and child and sentenced to 25 years in prison. 5 years later, he escaped during an appendectomy. To evade police pursuit, Frank held a young boy hostage at a convenience store and used him as leverage for his escape. Frank brought the boy to his mother, threatening her with the child's safety and forcing her to drive him home immediately. Out of concern for her son's safety, Adele complied with Frank's demand. Perhaps she had already guessed that Frank was the fugitive being reported on the news, as she remained silent and tense throughout the ride. Even when they passed a police car head-on, she didn't dare make a move, because her son Henry was the only emotional anchor she had left in this painful world. Adele didn't know what Frank's true intentions were, but as long as she could keep her son safe, she was willing to sacrifice anything.